Storm Podcast. This is episode 15. Today we're going to be talking about the Confederados of South America, Missing 4-1, and Stephen Kubacki and the Pentagon's UFO. So, Ben, what, you want me to start?
Yes, Papa.
You need to go with Missing 411?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, just to start, our first episode ever was on Missing 411, and it never got transferred over to like iTunes and stuff, so it's just on YouTube. So I'll just go over like a little overview of what Missing 411 is, and then I'll get into Stephen Kubacki's story. So like a Missing 411 case is when someone goes missing in the woods or somewhere else in nature under very strange circumstances. Like there's usually like no logical explanation as to why these people go missing, and they go missing a lot of time when they're with a group of people. Like, for example, a group of people could be hiking, and the guy in the back of the group, like if they're going like in a straight line through the woods, the guy in the back,
The caboose, as the kindergartners would say.
yeah, the caboose, the guy in the back of the group would have just been there, and then in an instant they're gone, and nobody heard any noise indicating a struggle or anything. They just like disappear.
Wait, so the conductor never disappears? The person.
No, not the conductor.
Conductor, we have a problem.
They're just gone. They're just gone. And a vast majority of the time, a dead body of the missing person will show up right where searching, like right where search parties went multiple times. Like they'll be searching for a week, and then after a week of searching, the body will show up where they searched like 4 or 5 times before. And they'll find a lot of the time they'll find all their clothes in like a neatly folded pile with all their belongings in like a weird spot. And once in a while in these cases, though it's rare, a person will return alive but very confused and not remember what happened to them. Or they'll remember things that don't make sense, like the story that we talked about before, where the kid was in a cave with the robots and they told him to shit on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, there will be terrible weather right after the disappearance, and it's often thought to be too often to be coincidence. And there's a high amount of these cases that occur when somebody is picking mushrooms or berries. And also, I didn't write this down, but apparently there's a correlation of people with like German ancestry going missing a lot more than other people.
Retro.
So like us.
Oh.
But I found this 4-part article by Alan Kaloran, and it's the misappearance of Stephen Kubacki, and this story's insane. I think you touched on it, Jordan, in the first episode.
What was the story? Wait, Stephen Kubacki?
Yeah, the guy who went cross-country skiing
Yeah.
on Lake Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll just get into it then. He's one of the rare cases of survivors that like came back. So, in February 1978, Steve Kubacki started off for a day of cross-country skiing by himself, and it was close to the southeastern shore of Lake Michigan. And he was only supposed to be gone for like a day, but he never returned. And on February 21st, some snowmobilers saw his skis in a backpack, but nobody was accompanying them. So they reported it to the police in case somebody went missing, because they didn't know that he was gone and didn't come back. And they knew it had to be Stephen, the police that is. So they launched an air and land search for him, like helicopters and just search parties going through the woods.
Mm-hmm.
And back on the day when he went missing, he left a small trail of footprints, like 200 yards out onto the frozen Lake Michigan, that abruptly stopped. And they originally thought he drowned, but I don't think they saw like a hole where he would have drowned, unless, I don't know how cold it was. It could have just frozen over like pretty quickly. But he was an experienced outdoorsman, so it's not like he would make that rookie mistake easily.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd previously gone mountain climbing in Europe and had skied the same area that he went missing. So he's been on that path skiing like multiple times. And then 14 and a half months later, on the night of May 5th, 1979, Steve Kubacki woke up on a grassy hill in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. And that's 700 miles away from where he disappeared. At first, he didn't know how much time had passed, and he had no memory of the time when he was missing. He saw a newspaper in Pittsfield when he made it back into the town, and he saw the date, and he was just an absolute shock because he's been gone for 14 months and doesn't remember any of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he made his way to his aunt's house around 20 miles from Pittsfield, and he was reunited with his family. I believe his mom died when he was missing, so he never got to see her again. But that's not like connected or anything. It's just a little thing that
Coincidental.
happened. Fuck, this mic's going nuts. But he later told reporters that when he had woken up, he was wearing somebody else's clothes, and he had a backpack with maps and hitchhiking signs that indicated he had traveled through Sacramento, San Francisco, Reno, Chicago, and Utah. He had $40, new glasses, running shoes, and a T-shirt from a marathon in Wisconsin. And, well, he was originally in Michigan.
Sacramento is opposite the way of Massachusetts.
Yeah, dude. Okay. None of it makes sense. But the only memory he had before disappearing was being scared and cold in the darkness. And back when they found his belongings, like back when the snowmobilers found his belongings 14 months before that, they said they were apparently very neat. The ski poles stuck straight into the ground, with the skis between the two, just like right next to each other, and the backpack on top of the skis. And that's according to the officers that found it once they were reported to the police.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan, goddammit. He's boxing his mic again. But Holland police, I think Holland was the town that he was in, said they didn't have any records of this case, and
Wait.
people at
In Michigan or in Massachusetts?
Michigan.
Okay.
They said they didn't have any records of this case, and people at Hope College with Steve, like the people that went to school with him, said they don't remember hearing much about it. But when the author of this article, she filed a Freedom of Information Act request, she found that the authorities and people at the college were actually really concerned and confused about what was going on. I don't know why they would hide it, but
Yeah.
it seems like that's what they were doing. And the news stories said that Stephen drowned, but very few people actually believed that story at the time. And it was all really strange. And anyway, the only thing in the belongings that proved that they were Steve Kubaki's was a dentist receipt from like a dentist appointment that he had. And after this, Michigan State Police started the air search and even got the Coast Guard involved because they're obviously on the lake. So like, and fuck, sorry, I lost my place for a second. And when they interviewed his roommate, all he knew that was that Kubaki was going cross-country skiing. And a day before the belongings were found, a couple saw a young man climbing around on piles of ice, but he was with a small woman. Nobody knew who this could have been. If it was Steven, like, nobody knew who the girl would have been.
Mm-hmm.
So it could have just been someone else was hiking around.
Yeah.
But that's just what someone said they saw. And in March 1978, Kubaki's mom said a family friend was getting phone calls from anonymous callers. The name and number was redacted in the reports. And said one call gave the family friend a phone number where she could apparently reach Steve Kubaki. This is all when he was missing.
Mm-hmm.
But when they called it, it was disconnected. And Kubaki had apparently called his mom from this number before, but she didn't know whose it was, and it was disconnected earlier that month. Steve had apparently had past girlfriends in Europe, so the police checked all the flight manifests, like going out to Europe or any courses to Europe, and like to see if he went to visit any one of them, and nothing came up. His name wasn't on any of them. And the reports apparently show that the search was more intense than the news had let on. Again, I don't know why they were trying to like play it down.
Mm-hmm.
But when he woke up on the hill, like the grassy hill, he had a marathon T-shirt on from Wisconsin, and it was from the Pavo Narmi Marathon in August 1978. Sorry, did I just kick you?
No.
I don't. But just because he had it doesn't mean that he was there.
Yeah.
He could have like found it, stole it, borrowed it, if
Given.
because who knows what he was doing.
Didn't they blame it on a fugue state?
On a what?
I didn't see that anywhere.
A fugue state.
What's that?
It's where you just lose all control of yourself and you don't remember anything. Kind of like you saw Breaking Bad, right?
Oh, like those people in Flocka who eat other like living people?
No. Like on Breaking Bad, you know, when Walter White, like,
Your mic's kind of quiet.
oh shit.
Oh.
Is it, or is it how far away I was?
Yeah, it's that.
Okay. Yeah, no, on Breaking Bad, when Walter White, like, got butt-ass naked and shit.
Yeah, I remember that.
I never
then-
watched Breaking Bad.
Oh.
You should. It's really good.
Yeah.
drugs. But anyway, it was the only marathon at the time, so, like,
In the country?
I'm not sure. That's all it said was that it was the only marathon at the time, so I'm guessing it meant in Wisconsin. So the author, Ellen Killoran, she found the event organizer from back then, and she had her send her the race results to see if his name was on any of the rosters.
Mm-hmm.
And she found the name Kubaki, and then she found some Stevens and a couple of made-up sounding names, but they were all accounted for, like they could all be traced back to actual people. So she also looked for the name Nathan, and this may seem strange while she was looking for Stephen, but after Kubaki resurfaced, apparently a student at Berkshire Christian College in Lenox said that he picked up a hitchhiker with a remarkable resemblance to Kubaki on May 5th, 1979, and this is the same day that Steve Kubaki woke up and resurfaced in the world. And the student, who was Ron Curtis, picked up Nathan, the hitchhiker, said he had flown to Boston from San Francisco, and once he was in Boston, he took a bus to Pittsfield. And remember, San Francisco was one of the maps he had on him when he woke up. So it's kind of coming together. Like, I don't know. But it's just strange. But Ron said he never said anything about waking up on a grassy hill, and he drove Nathan, or Stephen, to a house in Great Barrington, which is the house of Kubaki's aunt that he showed up to when he woke up. Nathan apparently told Ron Curtis that the woman who lived there was a friend he was visiting with news of a mutual acquaintance who had been missing for some time. Afterwards, Kubaki was blown away by the amount of money his parents spent on a private investigator to find him, and he said they would try to retrace his steps to try and remember what happened. The only thing close to Nathan that the author could find in that marathon was a gnat, but it was somebody younger than Kubaki, so like it couldn't have been him. Plus, they were from Tokyo.
Oh.
Yeah. But Tom Reamer, who is the public relations officer at Hope College, said that he thinks Kubaki owes an explanation to his old classmates because they were all so worried when he disappeared. But if he actually couldn't remember, that
doesn't make any sense.
No, he's like pissed off at Steven.
Like it's his fault.
Yeah. He's like he owes an apology to these students. What a douchebag. But he said the 1978 commencement was mournful because of Kubaki, and I would hope a person of good conscience would, by this point in time, come forward to say what happened.
Dick.
But that's like pretty much all that they have on that story. Like it's all strange. There's no leads go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows what happened. Steve Kubaki never remembered what happened. But there's been a history of disappearances and like strange things happening in Lake Michigan, like around that area. One was in October 1921. A crew of 11 men aboard the Rosabelle, a ship carrying lumber, went missing, and when the ship capsized on the route to Benton Harbor, which I think is on the other side of Lake Michigan.
Okay.
They're just like transporting lumber. And it was said it looked like the boat was rammed by a freight steamer, but no sign of the men on board were ever found. And they said the boat was found shortly after it crashed, so they should have found bodies.
Mm-hmm.
There was no bodies found, no survivors found, no dead. And what are you doing? And another ship that could have been involved in the crash was also never found. Like they said, it looked like it was rammed.
Mm-hmm.
No other ship was found with damage on it. And in 1950, Northwest Orient Flight 2501 went missing and apparently killed 58 people on board over Lake Michigan.
Damn.
And when it was flying over, the plane lost radio contact at 11:13 p.m. The next morning, a search was set out to find the plane, but no sign of the plane was ever found. And then later, the Coast Guard did find an oil slick near Benton Harbor, like if a plane crashed and its fuel
Mm-hmm.
went out. And they also found luggage, blankets, pillows, and shredded body parts that started washing ashore. And authorities said that the remains indicated a mid-air not a collision, an explosion. But the other items show like no sign of fire damage that would have been involved in a fire.
Mm-hmm.
So, the aircraft itself, parts of it have never been found, even though there are annual searches, like multiple years they search for this thing. But 2 police officers said that a strange red light hovering over Lake Michigan It was just there was a red light just hovering over Lake Michigan
The night that it crashed.
2
or
hours
day.
after the plane lost radio contact. It was just floating.
Mhm.
And they said it hovered for about 10 minutes and then abruptly disappeared. And in 1994, on March 8th, hundreds of people living in Michigan reported that they had seen clusters of 5 to 6 cylindrical objects in the sky. And some of them said that they had colored lights. Some people said they reminded them of strings of floating Christmas lights. One was described as being a fireball with red and green lights falling to Earth. One of the witnesses said even a one of the witnesses was a National Weather Service radar operator. And on one call between a police officer and that operator, the operator was saying, "I've never seen anything like this. Not even when I'm doing storms. These are not storms." And coincidentally, the police officer from the force at Holland, Michigan, who was talking to the operator, was the one who was like involved in Steve Kubaki's search.
Okay.
I don't know if that's not really significant. It was just like a weird
Cool
thing that
fact.
happened. Yeah. There's no evidence of any of this stuff being like connected to Steven's disappearance, but it's all very strange that it happened all in like the same area.
Yeah.
And yeah, none of the happenings or strange disappearances they've never been explained. It's so weird that like he went missing for 14 months and then just showed up and was fine.
Yeah. Halfway, or not half. Well, yeah,
700
halfway across the
miles.
country.
From Michigan to Massachusetts.
Yeah.
It's insane to me. But yeah, that's all I have on Steve.
All right. I'll hop into the Confederado business.
Can we take like a second
Sure.
so I can go squeeze a lemon? It's gonna make hot yellow.
Yeah, sure.
I'll just cut it.
Go make hot mess.
I'll just cut it.
We don't cut.
Fine then.
No, I'm kidding.
No dead air. Fuck it.
All right, dead air.
Keep talking.
Nah.
Keep talking, boys.
Okay. So just a little disclaimer before I start. The people who live, or the descendants of the Confederados, the thing I'm going to talk about, like their celebration, they don't say it's about like anti-black people or like anti-black rights. They say it's just celebrating their heritage, but take that however you will. So, after the Southern defeat in the Civil War, 10,000 disgraced Confederate sympathizers left the U.S. for Brazil in May of 1865 to keep the idea of slavery alive. Today, the families who came from these Confederates, they celebrate their heritage in the city of Americana, which was one of the prominent, like these people, the Confederates, they like kind of spread throughout like Brazil and South America, and this was a pretty strong city that they had. Their goal was to buy lots of land for extremely cheap prices and then try to impose their ideas of slavery on the local people. Luckily, most of the crops that like the Southerners brought, since like that's what they did, they didn't have a whole lot of industry in the South. Most of the crops didn't grow, and they died in the Brazilian climate, which is like, probably a little hotter.
Is that really loud?
I don't know.
Sorry.
I don't
They're
have
fine.
headphones on, so I don't know.
But most of the crops that they tried to plant died, since it's a pretty big difference in climate. However, one of the plants that did grow was cotton, and made the people who grew it very successful, like the city of Americana.
I'm sorry. I don't know what's happening right now.
Yeah, me neither.
What are you doing?
Okay, I'm just gonna keep going.
Yeah, keep going.
As time went by, the Confederados, they started to have children with the local people and grew to about 200,000 descendants today.
Wait, were these people racist?
Yes.
And they went to South
Absolutely.
America and had kids with other races?
Well, I'll get into that a little later.
Okay.
There was like a law that was passed or whatever. But the celebrations that are thrown today every year, they're extremely disturbing to look at. Like if you've seen any of these before, like it is crazy how much shit they get away with.
Like crime?
Not crime,
Or just racist shit?
just racist shit. For starters, the descendants decorate the whole town in Confederate flags, and all the people dress up in gray Confederate uniforms.
How have I never heard of these people?
I know. I just saw this like maybe a week ago for the first time. But like,
Yeah.
if you Google pictures of these celebrations, it is absolutely insane.
Yeah, I've never heard of this before until today.
Isn't
Yeah.
it strange how all the hate groups kind of flock to South America?
Yeah, the Nazis.
The Nazis and
And the name of the celebration is the Fraternidad Descendencia Americana. It's not only celebrated by the Brazilian locals, but also attracts modern day I don't want to say Confederates, but racists
yes.
from the U.S. coming from as far as Georgia, Tennessee, and even Virginia, which is our neighbor.
Yeah. Wait, people go there like annually or to live or just to
No,
visit?
no, just to go down and celebrate the flag, I think.
It is kind of crazy to me that slavery was not that long ago.
Yeah, like in the span of like how long humans have been around, like that's only been gone for like what 200, 150 years.
So, two people, as Joe Rogan would say,
Yeah, two people ago.
two people ago, slavery existed.
Like two grandparents ago.
Oh yeah,
Like
Yeah.
your grandparents, their parents.
I get you. I
Yeah.
get you.
What do you say? Like our country's like 4 people old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can't get enough of the Confederate flag, you can also use look-alike Confederate bills to buy all sorts of Confederate paraphernalia.
Confederate like dollar bills.
Yeah, like the
Like-
old Confederate dollar bills.
Oh, like actual old ones.
No, well,
Or
they're
like
just
likenesses
replicas,
of it.
but they look like it. And like they sell like glasses, like drinking glasses, flags, fucking aprons, like for cooking. Like anything goes down there. And there's also a graveyard that holds the original Southern settlers with Confederate flags planted at every grave, like an American veteran's grave.
Yeah.
Except with a Confederate flag. And along with that, there's monuments with all the names of the original people like that first settled there.
Mhm.
But this is not the only place where shamed Southerners went to escape the Yankee rule, including Mexico and Venezuela.
Now, was I in the bathroom when you said this? I don't know if you did or not. When did they like start going down there?
May 1865.
Okay, so like right after the war.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't find a whole lot about the Mexican or the Venezuelan places though. This seemed to be pretty prominent.
Wait, there's places in Mexico.
I'm not sure anymore, but
But there was?
yeah, like people moved down there.
Oh.
And the Confederados really raised hell when they got down to these places. Like some of the stories that these people did is like insane.
Like hurting people.
Yeah.
Oh.
For instance, a mob was led against a local sheriff who refused to go after an escaped slave in Brazil because, that's wrong.
Wait, so they went down. They
After-
traveled down to another
after they-
country.
No, after they moved down there, they brought I don't know if they brought slaves with them, but they had slaves down there.
No, but I'm saying they traveled down to South America.
Yeah.
And then they got pissed off that they didn't have laws that reflected their values.
Pretty much. Either that or he just refused because he knew what to do was right.
Yeah, which I'm saying
Yeah,
they got pissed off that they didn't like what they did.
yeah.
So then they got violent.
Well,
Doesn't make much sense.
that's not even the end of the story. So they went down to the sheriff's house and then they hung him while his family
Huh?
watched.
Oh my god.
Because of that.
Yeah, because they wouldn't go after an escaped slave.
Those are terrible people.
Yeah. Another story of these crazy Confederates is that they are suspected of killing a Brazilian senator who was going to try and help abolish slavery in the country.
Slavery's legal in there now, isn't it?
Yes,
I
yeah.
was gonna say.
That's coming back to, remember when you asked me, like, marrying people?
Yeah.
That comes here.
Okay.
Fortunately, after the emancipation of slavery in Brazil in 1888, there were no laws against mixed-race marriages, so the people started marrying into these different groups of people, and the English-speaking Confederate ideology burned out.
So people started actually having common sense.
Was there common
Well-
sense before this?
What do you
Civil
mean?
War.
Like, no, like,
Sorry.
was there like interracial marriage before all this happened?
Probably not a lot. I mean, I don't even think that was allowed in like the 20th century, part of it anyway.
I don't understand. I don't.
Da no get.
That no get.
I don't know.
I
What?
don't understand. Well,
It's all very wrong.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
10.
10.
10.
10.
And I guess Ben's done. You're done
Yeah,
now?
yeah, I'm done.
Okay. So recently,
You need to talk into your mic because it's
Shit.
very quiet.
I don't know why it's so quiet. Let me turn the gain up.
Ben's
Is that
mic's being
better?
good today, but yours and mine, like,
I don't get it. I don't know
I don't
why.
know.
Well, mine. Look at the volume now. It has to be up.
yeah, it's okay now.
Okay.
Maybe they're just being a little naughty. Maybe
Yeah.
try to turn it up a bit. Try now.
Hello.
And we have more feedback.
Hello?
Fuck it. Just
Hello?
talk.
Hello. Okay. So, the government admitted that UFOs are real, and no one gave a shit. What'd you point at?
What?
What'd you point at?
No, I'm saying I have notes on that too. So if like you go into it and then
Yeah.
we'll just go into detail.
Okay. Sounds good. And no one gave a shit. Me and Joffrey were talking about this a few days ago. How we were so unshocked and just not even surprised when they announced that UFOs are real. Like I wanted to be more surprised.
Well, the video that I'm thinking about, I think this is the one that they released. There was something on the History Channel about a year ago that had that same video. And, like, do you guys... You might know who he is. Christopher Mellon. Like, one of the big Rich Moneybag Mellons.
No.
Well, him and the drummer from Blink-182 started this company or whatever.
To the Stars Academy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they made
not the
this...
drummer. You mean Travis?
I thought it was the drummer.
No, it's not the drummer. The other one who went haywire. Well, he might be telling the truth now.
Yeah.
They have a
everyone thought
government
he was-
contract.
Wait, what?
They have a government contract for something.
Yeah, and he was telling Joe Rogan about it. And Joe Rogan's like, "Okay, bud."
I can't remember his name now.
I can't. It's Travis something.
Scott?
Travis Barker? No, it's not Travis Barker.
Wait.
Travis Scott.
Let me look up Blink.
No, that's a rapper.
Blink 182 members.
Well, anyway, they showed that video like a year ago, and Christopher Mellon, I think he used to be, like, he was a high up in the Pentagon. I could be wrong, but, like, it seems like if anyone would probably know about that, it seems like he'd be the guy.
Hmm.
The guy Tom DeLonge.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why I couldn't think of that. But
Tom Donglong.
yeah, he was like telling a whole bunch of stories about like how the government contacted him for this stuff, and I was listening to it thinking he's insane.
Yeah.
But what if he's not? What if he's been telling the truth the whole time? Because if anything, this just proves that people who were saying stuff about UFOs, like, shit, what's his name? That guy that worked at Area 51.
Oh, Bob Lazar?
Yeah, Bob Lazar. That means that everything he said is probably true.
Yeah.
And they had him looking at, because wasn't he studying like crafts that they found and they
He-
didn't know what they were?
He said it was his job to like try to reverse engineer them,
Yeah.
and they were having trouble figuring the propulsion out or something.
Oh, the time travel guy?
No, the one I talked about last week,
What was that?
Andrew Passaggio. That's a totally different guy.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Bob Lazar is a UFO guy.
Okay.
Yeah, so when the government just said that they have admitted to finding aircrafts that are not made on this Earth, that means that what Bob Lazar was studying is true. He wasn't making any of that up.
Yeah. And they like I don't know if you'd call it blacklisting, but they
Blackball?
like blue balled him. No, but he went to I can't remember if it was Harvard or something, and then when he worked for the government in Area 51, they took his name off all the stuff to discredit him. Like his name's not on,
Just to make him look crazy.
yeah, like he never worked here. But there's a picture of him. I'm pretty sure they saw a picture of him with people there, or they saw his name on a list. I forget
Yeah.
the story, but it was
Well, the reason that he stopped working for the government got rid of him is because they knew his wife was having an affair, and it would have something that would affect him at work.
yeah.
So they just were like, you're done. And he was like, why? And they didn't tell him.
You're done, bud.
And then he found out later.
That'd suck if something your wife did gets you fired.
And then you just look like
Yeah.
a crackpot for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Until now.
Yep. and then no one's gonna acknowledge it because no one gives a shit right now. Because
Yeah.
they just throw it in when there's a whole bunch of other shit going on. So there's like,
I was honestly pissed off at myself that I wasn't more like blown away.
Yeah.
I was like, I wish I was more surprised right now.
yeah.
I don't know what it was though. Like
I thought about it for like 5 minutes. Like that's crazy. And I was just like back to my normal dumb thoughts. It's like,
wonder if bike tires. Wonder how those are made.
bike tires
Yeah.
with rubber.
Anyway, do you want me to go into like the report that I found on this?
Do you want me to?
Do you want me to, or do you want you?
You can. Yeah,
Okay.
'cause you have it.
It's a Popular Mechanics article, and it, pretty much for years, the Pentagon changed their stance on their UFO research. Like sometimes they say it wasn't a thing, sometimes they said it was, and then in February this year, a spokesman at the Pentagon told Popular Mechanics that they had a program to investigate UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles, and unexplained aerial phenomenon. Phenomenon? Phenomena, which is UAPs, but their funding was cut in 2012. Multiple sources told Popular Mechanics that the research was still going on, though, and a new government report said that the government unit still deals with the classified manners, even though the unit wasn't classified itself. So, like, the unit was public, but they didn't show the findings of it. And it's called the Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon Task Force, and it's part of the Office of Naval Intelligence. And their job is to standardize collection and reporting on UAV sightings and to release some, it was emphasized, some details to the public. The task force is getting more funding in 2021 to try to find any links that the UAVs have to any foreign governments that could threaten the U.S. and the military installations they have around the world. Senator Marco Rubio, did Marco Rubio run for president?
Yes, he did.
He said, he chairs the Senate Selection Committee on Intelligence, and he said he hopes that the Russians or Chinese haven't made a technological leap that could be responsible for the phenomenon, and he's very interested in the project. So, I think the people that aren't like in the know in that task force, they don't know if it's like extraterrestrial or foreign governments. But he said that to me is a national security risk and one we should be looking into. So like they're worried about the UFOs or whatever they are.
Mm-hmm.
God, I hope this audio is good because these doesn't sound too hot today.
Yikes.
But Harry Reid, who was a former Nevada senator who was huge in creating the first UFO program, told the New York Times crashes of objects of unknown origin may have occurred in that retrieved materials should be studied. And then astrophysicist Eric Davis had consulted the Pentagon's first UFO program, and now he works for it's a defense contractor. It sounds fake. It's called Aerospace Corporation.
Jesus Christ.
I have to pee.
Okay, I'll keep going.
I'll watch.
But he said he had examined certain materials and had come to the conclusion. He's going with the door open. I can hear that. I can hear his belt through the
Yeah.
headphones.
Dude, I never piss with the door closed.
Can you shut the door so we don't hear it on the audio?
You won't hear it.
Jordan, I hear it.
There's no way you can hear that.
Okay, just listen to it when we put it out. Anyway. He said he had examined certain materials and had come to the conclusion that we couldn't make them ourselves. In March, he even briefed the Department of Defense about retrieving materials from off-world vehicles not made on this Earth. Pentagon spokesperson Sue Go. I don't know if it's Sue Go or Sue Guff, but she said
Guff?
Gough. I think it's Go. But she said, as we have said previously, the Department of Defense and all of the military departments take any incursions by unauthorized aircraft into our training ranges or designated airspace very seriously and examine each report. This includes examinations of incursions that are initially reported as unidentified aerial phenomenon or UAPs when the observer cannot identify he or she is observing. Thorough examinations of any incursions into our training ranges or designated airspace often involves assessments from across the department and as appropriate consultation with other U.S. government departments and agencies. She also said that they don't publicly discuss their findings as to not reveal significant intel to their adversaries like Russia or China. And then Go said that the DoD, the Department of Defense, is creating a task force to gain knowledge and insight into the nature and origins of UAPs, as well as their operations, capabilities, performance, and or signatures. She says the mission will be to detect, analyze, catalog, consolidate, and exploit non-traditional aerospace vehicles, or UAPs, posing an operational threat to the U.S. national security and avoid strategic surprise. This all comes after the Navy published 3 videos by the Navy pilots that showed UFOs and showed what looked like the aircraft moving in a way that doesn't look like it should be possible. Like, they'll be flying hundreds of miles an hour and then just change direction out of nowhere, not make like a loop like planes do. And the Navy also said that this is kind of strange. The Navy said that the video should have never been released to the public in the first place. Do you remember seeing those videos when they first came out?
Mm-hmm.
But I guess since they were out, they're just like, fuck it. I guess they gave us up.
Imagine how stupid we'll look if they are actually from this world and it's just another government and they're a little more advanced than us. We're like, they're not from this world.
Well, how stupid would you feel if it ended up being disinformation?
Like photoshopped.
They're just like, let's get their minds off this whole Epstein thing.
I mean, that's also a possibility.
Did you hear about like how much shit has been happening after, like, Epstein died with his case and stuff like that?
Like
the
the
judge?
Supreme Court judge whose son was killed.
Yeah,
and
like, that's
her husband was shot in her house.
crazy.
I don't know if that was connected. I heard that it was someone that she could have just like irked in the past.
It was weird timing. Though.
Yeah, it was very weird timing.
I thought it was just like payback for Epstein.
Yeah, no one. I don't think anybody really knows.
And like now his wife is gonna get fucked too. Like I think she got arrested.
Yeah,
didn't
she's
she?
in jail,
Yeah.
Yeah, she.
and
was-
I'm hoping she talks. Can you imagine if like half the government gets fucking rolled up?
that'll be the collapse. Will be.
Yeah.
That'll just be
For
the
being
icing on top. Well, that'll
pedophiles.
just be the straw that broke the camel's back, boy.
Societal collapse because half our government likes to fuck kids.
Yikes.
I say, pedophiles,
Should be hung.
execute them.
Let's make it slow though. Not fast like an
Oh.
electric chair.
But then we're sinking to their level.
No, we're not fucking
bro.
kids.
Yeah.
No, well, no, yeah, no. We just don't want to.
I don't care what
We
manner.
don't want to be shitty, but like they deserve to die.
I don't care in what manner. I just say pedophiles dead. Did you see the picture I sent you guys last night about the pedophile?
Yes, that is
in
insane.
New Jersey, a child
Oh,
predator.
yeah,
He said pedophiles are a persecuted minority, and he won his court appeal. And then later they found him decapitated on a judge's doorstep in Florida.
Dude, that's like shit from The Godfather.
Like, I don't know if it was the same pedophile. It was on the same.
I mean, either way, a pedophile gone
Oh,
is
wait.
a pedophile gone.
Yeah, it was that one. Yeah, good.
Wait, what did he
Good.
look like again?
Fuck him.
Wait, can I see the post?
Yeah.
He looks like a fucking madman.
He looks like a pedophile.
Yeah. Oof. Wonder who did it.
I don't know, but whoever did it deserves a high five.
yeah,
like
they have
like a
our
Dexter.
blessing.
I'll buy him a glizzy.
A Dexter, but for peds.
I think I heard this somewhere. It might have been on Drinking Bros. You ever listen to that podcast? There should be like hunting tags for pedophiles.
Yes.
Imagine if there was like you just go buy a tag,
I'd say I'd buy one of those tags.
but then you kill the wrong person, you do 20 to life.
Well, there kind of already is hunting tags, just bounty hunting.
Yeah, but that's only if they like skip bail or something.
Yeah, but you can get Crown Vic and just cruise around all day.
I see what you're doing here.
Yeah.
Anyways, fuck pedophiles. I think what they do, they should get done to them.
But
and then-
worse.
and then execution.
Yeah. That's fair.
Just to really drive the point home, like if you do this, you're gonna be fucked up.
Yeah,
But
but
what
what
if
if
they
they
like
want?
it,
Yeah,
though?
what if they want it? Then that's just gonna be pleasuring.
If they want it,
Yeah.
what do you mean? Why would they want it?
We said you just
They're
said what if they
fucked
like
in the
it.
brain already. So
I don't know, dude. I feel like if it actually happened to them, it might be different.
Okay.
yeah.
I don't know. I just think that, yeah, an eye for an eye plus some with pedophiles. That's just my opinion.
Mhm.
I don't know. How long should we keep going on this?
I don't
Because
know.
like we're
Where
getting
where we at?
deep. We're on almost to 11, almost 1,200 bars. I don't know how far that is.
It's like 45, 40 men.
You want to keep talking?
We can shoot the shit.
Well, let's talk about TikTok. Because that's happening today, isn't it?
Oh yeah, they're.
Like, Trump's trying to
You think
get
it'll
rid of
actually go
TikTok.
through, though?
I think
I
they're
think it will.
for sure banning. Well, I mean, if China's spying through it, there is no reason to keep that on our app store.
Yeah.
And, like, Trump, I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard that he wants, like, he can shut it down as soon as today.
I heard that.
But that's it. I don't want to get at a slippery slope. That like I think we should not have TikTok if China can spy through it.
Yeah.
But there might be a slippery slope where he can be like, oh, I'm taking away other social media.
Yeah, but that's totally different. Because, like, I'm going to assume that people aren't spying on it unless, like, Facebook is just selling, like, user accounts again. But, and
Yeah.
did you hear that, like, this is probably old by now, but, like, whenever Zuckerberg was, like, in front of Congress or whatever, a few years ago, you remember that?
Sorry,
whenever-
I was reading about TikTok.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so, like, apparently they have accounts, like, they know shit about people that aren't even on Facebook. Like, they can get accounts, like, pretty much have a whole account for someone who's not even on Facebook.
Maybe from like Instagram because they own Instagram
Well,
too.
no, just, like, they get information from, like, people who maybe post pictures of them and shit like that, and people around them. Like, it's fucking
So
insane.
like if my grandma doesn't have a Facebook and I post a picture of her,
Well, I think it deals with the people around them.
what do you
know
mean?
what I mean? I didn't really get what they were saying, but, like, the way they made it sound, like, if you... How do I put this? Like, fuck. Like, your phone number and shit like that, they can get that. And just, like,
Oh, yeah.
shit on where you live. Like,
Mhm.
fuck that.
I have to say this now. Zuckerberg is not human.
Mm-mm.
Do you see that picture of him surfing?
Yes.
I'll-
with the sunscreen on his face, like his mom put it on.
Yeah, I'll post it on Instagram. Maybe I'll post it like before we put this the podcast up.
I don't like Mark Zuckerberg.
No.
I think he's a piece of shit. Like, have you heard about what he tried to do in Hawaii?
No.
ban people from going on the beach in front of his house.
Oh, it's way worse than that. I actually have some notes about it.
That's like
Well,
It's
no,
worse
the
than
beach
that.
itself is public property, and he has like guards and shit saying like you can't go here, but like it's not legal. They can't really tell you
Yeah.
that you're not allowed to walk on the beach.
doesn't he have enough money to just buy that section of the beach? Even like overthrow any like law thing. Or,
I don't know. I don't know if it's legal to like. I don't know if you can actually buy the beach.
Well,
you can buy the property. In
you
front
think
of
if
the
you're
beach.
Mark Zuckerberg, you could buy the beach?
Fuck the Zuck, dude.
Dude,
No, I'm just saying. Like you have that much money,
He
just be
f-
like, here's 10 million.
he
I guess you
forced-
could.
The land that he has, he forced the people to sell it. They didn't want to sell it, but he forced them into selling it
How do you
and
force
took
them to
3/4 of their land.
How do you force him into selling it?
There's some legal shit that like you can like press someone into doing it,
Having
and
that
so these
domain?
people had to buy their land back, which they
What?
didn't even want to sell. I got I got 2 pages of notes worth for it.
Do you want to go into it?
Sure. All right, so just a little insight. He has an enormous estate on the island of Kauai, and he was trying to buy 4 properties around his 700-acre playground, which, like, I don't get why you need that much more on top of 700 acres.
What do you mean by playground?
Yeah, is it like?
Like, an estate, a huge estate on
So
this.
it's not like a child playground.
No, not a child playground.
Okay.
That's what I just
Yeah, that's
pictured.
what I pictured too.
Although he only managed to snag 3 of them at auction after the last one was saved by the Raposo family. I know I'm probably butchering that. Except Carlos Andrade, who was in Mark Zuckerberg's pocket, which Carlos Andrade, he's part of the family that was selling their land, but he like sold out for
Yeah.
Zuckerberg, which I think is really shitty.
What a fuck boy.
Yeah. All the land that was sold was in the family's name since their ancestors, Manuel Raposos, after he left Azores in 1882. So it's been like this family's possession for what, 120 something years.
Yeah.
One of the family members was quoted saying, "A family against a billionaire. That's what it is. It's only one family against a billionaire, having to bid for their own property." The land that they had was not that much in retrospect to a 700-acre estate, with the biggest part of the land only being 1.6 acres.
What?
So, like, he's literally buying nothing. I'm not saying that
Just
these
to be an
Just because he
asshole.
can.
pretty much yes because he can. One of the worst parts of this whole situation is that neither Mark Zuckerberg nor Carlos Andrade, the guy who was part of the original family, neither of them were there to pretty much just take these people's land.
They had people do it for him.
Yeah. Like, just people show up in court to represent them, which is so shitty.
Well, you know why? If when you have that much money, instead of just doing that, why don't you just pay them like quadruple what their land's worth,
Yeah.
and everyone's kind of happy?
Yeah.
Because he could easily do that. That would
Yeah.
not do a thing.
He's a billionaire.
Yeah.
Of course he could.
He's like, what, the second richest guy in the... Or no, that's Bill Gates, the second richest guy.
Who's the richest? Isn't it
Jeff Bezos, yeah. While the family still owned the property, Andrade would check or change the locks on the property gates so no one in the family could get in to their own land, which like is pretty awful.
Mm-hmm.
And all of this has been going on since 2016.
Shit.
What?
Zuckerberg's worth $88.2 billion.
Yeah, he could have paid quadruple.
I feel like if you have that much money and power, I don't think you can stay a good person.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Especially if you're doing shit like this.
Yeah.
All this has been going on since 2016, like, which I think is absurd that you haven't been hearing about it until now. I haven't heard about it since now. I don't know about you two.
Mm-mm.
But lots of people think that his plan is to try and like colonize the mostly untamed Hawaiian island, and that he has been pressuring the owners to sell their property. And also, after he bought the first property he had, he built a 6-foot wall to keep it private, which is like kind of ironic that he's taking all these people's land and just kind of building the wall around it.
Apparently, he was in some town hall meeting, and he said he understands where Bernie Sanders is coming from when he says billionaires shouldn't exist. And then he said, this is Zuckerberg saying that, who's worth $88 billion. He said, I don't know if I have an exact threshold on what amount of money someone should have, but on some level, no one deserves to have that much money. He's one of the people he's talking about.
Yeah, that's super hypocritical.
Or maybe he's saying, well, maybe if he doesn't agree with that, maybe he should give away that other $87 billion.
I think what he meant was nobody should except me.
I think there should be billionaires.
Yeah, if you
Just, like if you have something to strive for, like you can look up to someone like that.
if you have the ability to make that much money, you deserve it.
Yeah,
But don't be a fucking cunt
yeah.
Yeah.
when you have that much money.
But imagine having $1 billion.
Yeah, let alone 88 times that. That's what you said, right? 88 billion.
Plus another 200 million on top of that. 88.2 million.
Oh, can't forget about 200
That
million.
yourself you could retire on and live lavishly, dude.
You could retire on like 10 million.
Living modestly, I think, for the rest of your life from like now, if you're 20.
It's 100 years. That'd be making $100,000 a year
Inflation.
if you
though.
invest some of it.
Inflation, though.
Now I think you'd be just fine.
Yeah, you would. Live like a $50,000 a year lifestyle.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Neither do I.
If you live $50,000 a year for the rest of your life, that would be, let's see, 2 years would be 100,000, 20. That's like, fuck. Let me do my
Here.
caveman
That's
math.
200 years
I just
to 100 to 10 million.
I tried to find how much like the average American retires with whenever like they're actually retired, and the thing I only found, it only goes up to the Americans' 40s, but still that's $63,000 they make annually, like a year.
Mm.
Like, can you fucking imagine? Let alone 200 million
I mean,
on top of
88.
that, 88 billion. Like, you probably couldn't even spend all that money if you tried.
I would just
No,
stop
you could.
working.
Yeah.
I would sell Facebook and just fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see.
I feel like life at that point, though, it actually gets boring when you have that much money.
It
Like,
has
gets so
to.
fucking boring.
No way, dude.
You have nothing to work for.
You can afford to do anything you want, though.
Yeah,
you
but
have
what all can you
nothing to work for? Like you just do have nothing to work for.
Once you go through everything that you can, what else is there to do?
Yeah,
You can go
'cause-
to a different country every day.
Yeah, and then what happens after about
Where are you gonna
maybe, like
stay,
2
though?
years when you do all that?
Then you can restart because we can restart the trip. Because you're
That's-
not going to see a whole country in a day.
That sounds awful.
Okay, a country a month.
Okay, that's a little better, but
That's enough time to explore it, get the vibe of the country.
Or if you're gonna be a billionaire, at least be like Elon Musk and be doing some shit with your money.
Yeah.
Like
like
Not
something
just-
constructive.
Not just selling people secrets and fucking them out of their land.
Yeah.
Doesn't Elon Musk want to cage fight Johnny Depp?
Yes.
yeah, dude, I want to see that.
Me
I wanna
too.
see that. Johnny
'Cause
Depp's
Johnny
a fuck
Depp,
boy.
Johnny Depp.
He's like 57.
Johnny Depp?
Well, what happened was Elon Musk slept with Johnny Depp's ex-wife,
Mm-hmm.
and then
So why does he give a fuck?
I don't know, but then he found out, and he's like,
Well-
"I'm gonna cut your dick off," and then and then Elon Musk was like, "All right,
Well-
let's cage fight," and he's like, "I'm dead, like I'm serious, let's cage fight."
What
Johnny
did Depp
Depp-
say about it?
He
Johnny
didn't
Depp
answer
said
yet, I
that.
don't think.
I think it started because Johnny Depp said that his ex-wife, the lady that Elon mated with, she shit in his bed or in their bed.
What?
I think the story is I think Johnny Depp pissed in their bed, like
And
whenever they're
Elon
still
Musk?
married,
Oh,
and
in
then
their own bed.
yeah, I can't remember his wife's name, or his ex-wife's name, but she shit in the bed
Why? Just
because
do
they're
it.
fucking crazy.
Fuck it.
It's like that Always Sunny episode
go shit
where
on
who
the bed.
pooped the bed.
They don't sleep or
Who
they
did
do
the
sleep
shit?
ass to ass.
Yeah, but what does the shit have to do with it?
Well, I think if you realize that someone like shit in the bed on purpose, I'd probably be pretty upset.
Yeah, but
If someone
what's
said
that?
that.
Why does it make him pissed off at Elon for fucking her?
Oh, I don't know.
Who knows? They're nuts.
Do you think Johnny Depp's a simp?
I think he's just a soy boy.
Soy boy beta
Soy
cuck.
boy beta cuck. He likes his bracelets a lot.
He has. He's like one of those guys that wears like 50 bracelets.
He
and
has
they're, like,
more
all
bracelets than
jiggly,
you
like-
do, Jordan.
I have no bracelets.
Jordan wears anklets, not bracelets.
Yeah, get it right.
Like an ankle monitor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I wear toe rings.
I wear rings around my my balls.
I have a belly button.
Ball,
My
around
balls.
each ball.
I'll cinch.
Imagine having to squeeze your ball through a ring like that.
You know.
Yeah,
Like the
that's
size
all
of a
you
wedding ring,
can- Yeah,
or like
yeah.
or like or like a
It's
belly button
doable.
ring.
It's doable. but,
Imagine the
like,
hothead
Uh,
trying
it's
to get that
doable?
off. To get
realizing
like bolt
it's
cutters.
stuck. No, you have to use a hairdryer to heat it up so you can sweat a little bit.
Yeah, but doesn't it make that makes your nuts swell too? You ever get hot and like your hands swell?
Yeah, so you have to get them cold, and that would make it hurt even worse trying to get the ring.
Imagine
off.
trying to jimmy like a bolt cutter around
Jesus Christ!
the ring. Your nuts.
What if you had to smash it so it was cylindrical and then just
Smash
slide
what?
right through your balls, like flatten them? You're like a dick flattening except for your balls.
Yeah.
It was just
Smash
cylindrical and
until,
it went right through the ring.
Mashed potatoes.
Yikers.
Like a mashed yam.
Well, no, you would definitely. It would become one of those things where if you put a ring on your ball,
Put a ring
you would
on
lose
it.
your ball because you would lose circulation. And
It would probably be like, don't they do that to some like farm animals? They like rubber
Yeah,
band their
sheep
nuts until they
and
just
stuff.
fall
What the
off.
fuck?
yeah,
Do you know that in Texas they make like purses out of bulls' ball sacks?
no.
Yeah, they do that out of kangaroo scrotums too.
Okay.
One
I
of
saw
mine-
that on Pawn Stars one time. Like not the Rick Harrison Pawn Stars, but there's some like broke ass like purple nice T-shirt wearing store that they sold a
What?
bull's ball sack. They bought it from some lady.
A bull's ball sack.
Yeah.
I would rather a kangaroo scrotum. That's exotic.
I just wouldn't want any animal scrotum.
Yeah.
Do you know what, if you had to have like a coin purse out of any animal on Earth scrotum, what animal would it be?
Elephant.
Elephant?
Holy shit.
How big do you want the purse to be?
That must be a backpack.
I'd think mine would be like a penguin.
Penguins.
Dude, you're gonna have like nothing.
Yeah, I don't think they're very.
Yeah, I don't carry a coin purse. Let's put it on a necklace or
I don't
something.
think penguins are very well endowed.
You don't know that, dude. What's that?
That's the bull ball sack purse.
It looks like the pouches they used to
Yeah.
keep gunpowder in.
Dude, it's fucking engraved. With fucking kangaroos on it.
Engraved nut leather. Oh shit!
Wait, let me see.
They like stamped a kangaroo into this bull's nutsack after it was off.
Ah, dude.
You know, you can get like stamped leather. Like,
Yeah.
Now let's hope these are these like bulls just neutered or are they dead?
I don't know. I don't really care to know. Actually, you know what? No.
Because you want to know, like, if the purse you have, like, is that animal still living? And you have it. Think about how fucked up that is. You have its it's living, but you have its ball sack. You
Yeah,
just
like
keep
that's
the
like
change in it.
that's like neutering your dog and like putting its balls on the mantle.
Yeah, that'd be really weird, huh?
Too bad your dog's a female.
Okay, I brought this up in the group chat yesterday.
What?
If anybody listens this far,
Oh
which
my
we're probably not gonna get like.
I don't know.
Any
If you do,
listeners
you're
this
a
far?
true one, man.
Yeah, thanks,
But
Mom.
if you do, write into the Instagram or comment on our post. Would you dig through a pile of mystery pubes to get $100
Mystery pubes.
bill? Yeah, you don't know whose pubes they are. It's
Yeah.
a big mound just to get $100
And I
bill.
said yes because you can just wash your hands.
Yeah, I mean it's not like you're gonna lick
Just
your
hair.
hand and put it in and
Yeah,
it'll
I'd
stick
s-
to your fingers.
Well, that'd be an easy way to get all the hair around it off. But
No, I'm saying it's
how
not like
big-
you aren't, or it's not like you are doing that. It just dip in real quick, maybe get a single hair or two.
How big is the
$1 bill.
pile?
Yes, like
Um,
is it like elbow deep?
Yeah, I'd say elbow deep, probably 4 feet in diameter.
So you're gonna be digging for a while.
So this is like a massive
be a
amount of
search.
pubes.
Is it?
It's probably like 100 people's pubes. You don't know who they are.
I thought it
No,
was just
whatever,
one guy
dude.
or woman,
I'll
but
just wash myself. Like if you think about it, all the
What if you got crabs?
you can't. You couldn't say.
Ah, shit. I
You couldn't
forgot
say we
about
can't
that.
wear gloves. So yes, I'll do it.
No
I don't
gloves.
know. Wait, I forgot about crabs.
Because they don't just go for nut hair. They go for any coarse
Oh,
body
dude.
hair.
I'll just shave my whole body.
What if
You
you're
know what?
like?
no, it's not worth it.
What if you were in
Nah.
shorts and you had to like wade into the pubes and you're just like
No.
digging?
No,
It's like a
it
field.
has to be a lot of money for me
Well,
to.
Jordan, then
to
you
risk
brought
that.
something up later for 10,000. Would you dig
Oh,
$10,000 out of somebody's asshole?
I would not.
I
Are you kidding?
I couldn't bring myself to.
I would.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be sexual.
Mm,
You're going in there for the cash, bruh. $10,000.
the Big Ten.
Now, do you have to use both hands?
I would imagine that it would probably tear the person open.
God.
Well, yeah, that was another point I brought up. I was like, do you have to pay for their injuries, or can you just leave them there and walk away with the 10 grand?
I'm bolting. I'm going to wash my hands, take a hot bath, and get this just disinfected.
I'll probably just bring some Lysol and spray them down first.
Spray it in, and then
That would burn.
Yeah, but it's not me.
you're not paying for the injuries.
I don't care. I'm getting 10 grand.
Yeah. I couldn't bring myself. To do it now. And then when you brought up like the digging through that, and like I forgot the crabs.
Dude, I could
Yeah.
10,000. You could literally buy a car for that.
Yeah.
Like not a maybe a.
I could pay mine off with 10 grand.
I
Fuck
could
yeah.
get a car and not pay it off with that.
You can always do.
I just screeched the mic.
I did.
No, I just moved the mic stand and it like vibrated.
screech.
Okay. How long should we keep going with this?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
We're at 1,700 bars now.
Yeah, I don't know if people enjoy this or not.
Maybe we should.
I
Uh,
enjoy it though.
Yeah.
Maybe
That's
we
all
should.
that matters. Maybe we should have more podcasts that are just random, and if people don't like the random ones,
Fuck it. I don't care.
Maybe we should get ahead of it while we still can.
What?
Ahead of what?
Stop it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's a good idea.
then probably.
Alright. Thank you guys. Anybody that listened this far.
Yeah. Thanks, Mom.
Episode 15. Next week will be at episode